Yeah, man. Yeah, that happens with like shit. I don't know. When I'm in the sim, I think that happens with me. Like I get lost because I like sitting in the corners, honestly. Because yeah, it's just. I mean, probably shouldn't be saying this,
You like to
but
bang in the corners.
I have done very interesting things in the cinema in my time. I've done very
Yeah, you bad boy.
yeah. I was in high school. I was in high school. Um, there's this girl. She had a thing for me. I had a thing for her, low key. I just she was cute, you know. So one day after my hockey game, which was at her school, um, we just
Oh, you went to
walked
the
to.
same school.
No. We were from different schools. Uh, so after the game, we walked to the cinema, which is literally just like a 5 minute walk, like just up the road. It was a Saturday afternoon. Yeah, let's just say I could have lost my virginity in a cinema
How
watching
many
Think
people were
Like a
in the
Man.
cinema?
No people, just me and her.
Ah, so when I was in high school, I was in hostel. Right, so I stayed there from Monday till Friday. So we weren't allowed going out. You know, we were on school campus. Um, and then you started to realize that if you date a girl that's a day resident and not in a hostel, you get opportunities to go out because obviously her parents can pick you up. They live around town. Um, yeah, and then obviously you can't really go to their place because their parents are there. So what you do is just go to the cinema. And when you tell your mates you're going to the cinema with a girl, everyone knows what's going on. You know, first thing you do is you go to Edgar's and you go and test perfume. You know, you obviously already know what perfume you're gonna test. Spray that shit on, get some free perfume, and then it starts off by let's go and try out some clothes at Mr. Price, and then you're trying on clothes in the same dressing room. um,
Wow.
yeah, and then
Wow.
obviously go to the movies and sort of look which movie is popular, which one's not, and choose the one that's not popular. You're not going to be watching anything. So you try to go to the cinema, the movie, which is not going to have a lot of people in it.
Yo.
You, you know the weird thing is I could never have an experience like that unless the movie theater was empty. Because if
Because you were having sex when you were 7. They weren't movie cinemas yet. They were drive-ins.
no, they were movie theaters, and every one of my peers used to go to the movies with their dates. But because living a sin and living a crime disables
Yeah,
you
you can't do that shit.
from going to the movies and doing
Yeah.
whatever affectionate thing you want to do with your partner. That can land you in prison for a
How did that
person like
affect?
me. So
How did it affect you growing up and your relationships? Like, at what age did you realize that what you're doing is not culturally acceptable, and how did that affect you? Bro?
from the offset, from day one, when I realized that, look, I'm having these emotions, and from day one, I was just like, no, wait. I've never seen that. I had no role models in my country to be like, oh, wait, I've seen a person like that, because everybody was always internalized. Obviously, and in a Christian country where everybody tells you you are wrong, you are sinful, even from a child, when you see other people, get it, you just go like, this is the way I have to live. And I know that if I just lived 100 kilometers south, I wouldn't have this problem. Unfortunately, I was born in a place where a person like me could never have experienced the life that they desired. So you get to a point where you're angry because your teenage years, you're angry. You're like, why? You're like, why? Then you go to varsity. Then you realize, oh shit, I can be free. And then you grow up, and then you realize I have to learn to live with it.
So did you fight it in the beginning?
Phew.
Oh no, I never tried to fight it. If you try to fight it in my country, you go to prison and you die. So you don't
No, but
fight
did
it.
you
You
fight
don't
your
fight it.
feelings? I mean, like the feelings you had. Did you like this is not normal? or straight up you're like,
Oh,
oh, this
that's
is
like
how I feel, so I'm gonna be,
suppression. Trying to suppress.
you
Oh,
like,
once, well, when my family discovered it, that's obviously when I tried to
how old are you?
suppress it. It was the 20th of May, 2009. 2009, yeah. So the 10-year anniversary was last year in May. And honestly, on that day, that's when I was like, oh, maybe I should start doing something. Because prior to that date, I thought nobody was ever going to find out. And then after that date, I was like, okay, do I choose me or do I choose what everybody else wants? And for like 9 months after that, I chose what everybody else wanted. And then I was like, nah. Wait. You can't do this to me. I would rather die. I'm sorry. I would
So,
rather
so
die
you
than
went
not
to your
get my
parents and
freedom.
told them, or they caught you?
No, I was outed. I was outed.
Sorry?
I was at the school play, and it was at night. We were practicing for the school play, and two of my friends got caught doing God knows what. And then their parents asked, like, who else is in your crew? And then they came over to my house while I was at the school play, and then they told my parents and everything. They're like, oh, we're gay, we've been gay for a long time. And then they added a whole lot of lies. They added a lot of lies into it. And
Wait.
when my dad came to pick me up, he was just like, yeah, this happened. And I tried to get out of a moving vehicle because I was like, holy shit, I went cold, dude. Like, another word of advice: every gay guy you meet, be it they are in the closet or out of the closet. If they're out of the closet, they have a coming out story. If they're still in the closet, they don't have a coming out story, and they have a difficult story. But every gay guy, some people have happy coming out stories, some people have sad ones, some people never even needed to come out. But my coming out story on that day was horrible. But in the long run, it made me
How
who
old
I
are
am
you?
today. I was turning 19 that year. I was 18. Yeah,
So I wanted to
2009.
say, yeah, at 19 you're already old. That's a bit old, but
So
I wanted
relatively.
to, like, if you're 10, 11, 12 at that age, and your parents, I just want to compare something. Like, if your parents catch you with a girl, or let's say your parents catch you with a guy, in both situations, when you're that young, your parents obviously going to speak to you about it, because you're that young,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But the difference comes in is that when you're gay, it takes on a totally different form,
yeah.
where they're not
Yeah.
speaking to you about, like, hey, you need to be careful. When they come in with a different idea where they're trying to stop you from doing it. But if you're caught when you're 12 kissing a girl or something like that, your parents obviously going to call you in and be like, you need to be careful and shit like that. You need to wait till you're married. But if you're gay and you're caught when you're 12, no parent's going to be like, hey, you need to wait until you're married before you can fuck someone.
Well,
that is true. That is true.
Actually, I think given the current times that we live in, that may actually become more a norm than not, where we have parents, raising their children in that, say, like, in using the very same example of their son is caught with a little boy. I think we're moving towards a more accepting society. Obviously it's not as like widespread and immediate as we would like for it to be, but I really feel like there's that steamroll, like there's some progress towards people becoming, that more open minded and accepting. Like, yeah, I don't know, that's what I've probably seen in my surroundings, or in the places that I frequent and whatnot. But yeah, I honestly can see it gaining more acceptance and more, yeah, parents
But you
becoming
realize
more.
then how much of a role the parents play, because we're talking about how parents need to accept it, but parents accepting it is not the goal. There's a deeper goal. Once parents accept it, kids can start accepting themselves, and I think that's the major thing. Because a lot of kids growing up being like, what I'm doing is wrong, and my parents are saying what I'm doing is wrong.
Hence,
So it's sort of like parents need to accept it so that the children, you know, can, you know, grow on it and accept themselves. And they'll only be able to accept themselves once their parents, especially if they're young.
Hence why I believe that will, you know, we're steamrolling towards more acceptance and more, you know, parents in the future having that thing of, okay, you know, okay, yeah, just you know, wait until you're older, etc., etc. Like you treat everyone the same, regardless, because we are that generation of the next parents. You get what I'm saying?
Can some societies faster than others. I won't lie to you and say my society has not changed. Our attitude has greatly changed. We even have radio DJs that are sexually ambiguous. And then you're like, whoa, ambiguous, meaning there's that hint, but they won't say gay. No, they won't say gay. They won't say.
Yeah.
But they're like ambiguous. 10 years ago, ambiguous, you were gonna be killed at the stake, nigga. You're gonna be burnt. Now they're like ambiguous. Then you're like, ooh. In South Africa, you can be like somizi, you know, like here in Zimbabwe, they use somizi as an insult. They're like, oh, so you're like a somizi. Ooh, you're like a somizi. I'm like, no, I'm not like a somizi. I don't look like somizi. I'm not somizi. But so we are not at the point where we can accept a somizi, but we can accept somebody who's ambiguous.
But Gibson, you talk about
what?
How in your country it's illegal and shit like that. And you talk about if you were born 100 kilometers, you know, south, it would have been easier. But the fact that South Africa's legal system allows for gay, you know, people to have rights and stuff like that, that doesn't mean the culture accepts that. I don't think you would have had an easier job in South Africa. Because I grew up in such a culture, school environment where it was totally anti-gay. Really anti-gay. I went to Afrikaans high school. We lived in hostel. If there was just, a guy didn't even have to be gay, right? He just had to be very feminine. And they would pick on him. And they would pick on him until that kid left hostel. They would literally make someone leave hostel because he's too gay for hostel. So I grew up in a society like that, bro. Where not acceptable.
Quick, 1 second. There's a difference when your culture is anti-gay, but your law is pro-gay. The law is your last line of defense. When somebody bullies you or tries to kill you or tries to do anything, at least you can go to the police and the police are like, oh yeah, we have to defend you. Here, the culture and the law hates you.
Facts, bro. Even when it's constitutionally entrenched, the fact that it's constitutionally entrenched, that I can't discriminate against you because you're gay means that whatever your personal attitude is, my nigga, try that shit. Just try. I'll take you to court. We'll solve this like the system's people. You know what I mean?
Police. Like if a kid had to involve his parents in a situation like that at hostel, he'll be disregarded even more.
But we're living in a time right now, like we say, where that kid has a bit more leverage, which is obviously a great thing. That kid has a bit more leverage in terms of, okay, you don't want to take my concerns in regard, I'll run to whoever has a public platform, the media or whatever, and I'll tell you everybody how like homophobic your institution is. It's a bit of something. Why? Because it's law. Huh?
Because in high school, kids hate gay people, right? From where I grew up. Now, if you're going to grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, you're learning about your sexuality. And you're being told by your classmate that that's not acceptable, you get shunned for it. You are not allowing that person to explore and learn about who he is. You're taking that away from someone. Even if it's, you know, the law allows that it allows gay people to have rights and stuff like that. You're taking away so much from a child that's growing up from culture not allowing that person to accept who he is and, you know, explore who he is and grow.
Um,
That is the
why,
problem.
why are we so fixated on what other people are doing within the bounds of their own life that does not affect us in any way? Why?
Yo, I hate that shit so much, Neo, bro. When it comes to whatever sexuality, gender, whatever race, whatever, like, fam, why are you so concerned about another human being's life? How personal, whatever's, like, how on earth does that affect yours? You know what I mean? Are you touched by it? Is there some sort of insecurity that their lifestyle is making you, you know what I mean, act up on?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it really, but like that is a very good question. Like what brings that about? Like why? Okay, you see someone else living their life, having fun doing it. Why does that bother you? Like,
I've seen it with different kinds of homophobes. I've seen it. Some people are coming from a religious perspective. Some people are coming from a, you know, some people, it's like, it's something I don't understand, and I don't like it because I don't understand it. And
It
where
makes you
I'm
feel
from,
more
it makes,
religious. That's
yeah,
what it does.
yeah, like
When you're able
you
to tell
are there.
someone you're gay, you're doing something wrong, that makes you feel more powerful in your belief.
Yes, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm done. Yeah, he said it. He said it. I'm done.
I mean, it's a lot easier to deal with someone that's gay. Be like, oh, you're gay. My religion doesn't
Yeah.
allow that. And you feel good. Like, oh, you know, I helped Jesus today. You're not going to like tell someone that's murdered. The odds that
Yeah.
you're meeting a murderer is less than you meeting a gay person. So you feel very proud of yourself. And you're like, fuck, I told the gay person that he's going to hell. And, you know, I helped Jesus today.
You know that saying that you see the log in, wait, the splinter in someone else's eye, but you don't see the log in yours. You know that
Oh
saying?
my
It's
gosh.
like
That's
homophobes are so
It's
good
in the
at going, look at your
Bible.
little splinter, look at your look at your splinter, look at your splinter, look at your splinter. But this nigga has a fucking forest in his eyes.
I
Winterfell.
actually
That
read
nigga
something.
Winterfell out there, bro.
I read something interesting where they were talking about this thing in the Bible, right? So in the Bible, it says, "Man shall not lay with man," right? So it was written
let's say a
how many
stone.
years ago when the Bible was written? A lot of people think gay people just exploded in the last 100 years, like gay, that it just happened now that there are gay people. But why would the Bible make a rule a man should not lay with another man? They can't see the future. Obviously, it was happening in their own town, in their own area.
Bro, what about the Greeks? Didn't the Greeks used to be pedophiles? Were they like gamers back in the day, bro?
300 years ago,
Those people,
300 years ago,
warriors.
scientists had little boys as slaves, bro.
That's true.
Intellectual
That's so
people.
true.
I don't think anyone has actually ever asked that question. Like, okay, why does where does this thing, emanate from? In the Bible, like, but I mean, I suppose the rebuttal would be no, the Holy Spirit, came down and it's God spoke, and yeah, he foresaw or whatever. I don't know how else to explain.
Look, if you look at
Jesus wasn't married, maybe he was gay.